back with another review, and this is for Total Meltdown 2. He wanted me to talk about and review Pirates of Treasure Island from 2006. And yeah, this movie is bad. It's a very low budget, crappy pirate movie made by Asylum. And from what I understand, Asylum is a company that puts out these really bad independent movies, sometimes really bad ripoffs. And this is off the backs of Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, which came out the same year. And in this, you have Lance Henriksen, great actor. He's Long John Silver. You have our main character, Jim Hawkins. He has a map to this island where there's this treasure. So he sets out on a quest to go after this treasure with Long John Silver. And along the way, Long John Silver, you know that he's in it for himself. And then by the end, he tries to stop the main character and get the treasure. And that's kind of the story. That's the plot here. Which I much rather watch Muppet Treasure Island. That's a good flick. There you had Long John Silver played by Tim Curry. You know, you had some good songs in that. That's a good flick. This is not. I mean, it gets a 2.5 in IMDb. So, I mean, I'm not as angry as, let's say, when I did my rant on Movie 43 and Going Overboard, but still, this is not good. I mean, it's trash. When your film starts off with this piece of dialogue, you have these two characters on this island, this one guy, Lance Henriksen's character, and the one guy says, there's a stench of a curse on this island. And Lance Henriksen says, yeah, it's farts, blood, and cheese, Billy. What? It's farts, blood, and cheese. That's your dialogue to open the film. And right then and there, I knew I was in trouble. And then you get a big creature, CGI creature that just comes out of nowhere from the sky and lands on the beach in front of Lance Henriksen. And it's like, what is this, a big spider? A big crab? Like a big crab creature and very bad CGI. It just comes out of nowhere and then never to be seen again. And then you cut to the credits. This is very bad opening credits that I can do in my editor because it's that cheap. And throughout the film, even the dialogue is real quiet because a great chunk of the film, they're on the ship. And I swear to God, I had to turn up my computer a little bit. That when they're speaking, the sounds of waves and the ship creaking is just as loud, or if not more louder than the dialogue. And it's like they really, we're so low budget that we have to, turn up on the waves and the sounds of waves hitting the ship and the ship creaking. And the dialogue is, we gotta turn it down a notch because we're making this for $5. It's like, geez. I mean, it's that low budget. It's that bad. Lance Henriksen, again, he's a great actor, but obviously, was this a paycheck for Lance Henriksen? Was this a cruise ship? I mean, I love Lance Henriksen, and he's out acting everybody in this movie. So I don't know what he got out of it. This is one of the worst films that I've seen him in. I'd much rather watch AVP, which he's in that. And I don't like that movie. I'd much rather watch him in that. But again, the dialogue is real quiet, and a great chunk of the film, nothing happens. It's just exchanging dialogue between characters, talking about, Lance Henriksen saying that you're smart as paint to some of the people on the ship. And you know that Lance Henriksen can't be trusted. And again, the sounds of waves, and it seems like there's this one scene where they're in a storm, and the sounds of nature and the storms is so much louder, so much more cranked up over the dialogue. And you don't even have, like, for a pirate movie, you don't really have a lot of swordplay. And it's like, okay, if you're low budget, then give me a lot of swordplay. Give me something. And the only little bit you get is in the end, and it's very shitty. And because they get to the island, and again, Lance Henriksen wants the treasure. And yeah, I'm looking at notes here. Lance Henriksen shoots Jim Hawkins, and it tells him, oh, it's just a flesh wound. And then they get into a little fight. Lance Henriksen's character gets stabbed with a sword. He lays on the ground, and, you know, Jim Hawkins is caring for Long John Silver. I'm like, this guy just tried to kill you, and you're trying to save his life? And then Lance Henriksen has this piece of dialogue after he gets stabbed by a sword. He says, it takes 26 muscles in your face to frown, and only 5 to smile. Dies. He says that piece of dialogue, and then he dies. And then this one character, this one bad guy shows up, and he has a skull mask on, like straight out of a Halloween store. I'll be honest, it didn't look that bad. The skull mask, again, looks like they picked it up for $5 at the Halloween store. And he wants the treasure. He's like, unhand me the treasure. And then all the main characters, the 4 or 5 characters in the film, they shoot him at the same time. I'm like, that's the only funny part about the movie, is that one little scene at the end. And then, you know, the movie ends not too long after. I mean, the film is an hour and 25 minutes, so it's not long, but it's just a great chunk of the film. It's just nothing happens. It's very dreadful, boring. Lance Henriksen, again, I'm a big fan of, from Aliens and Hard Target. I remember he was in No Escape. That's a good flick. Great actor. What are you doing here, Lance Henriksen? And then you got actors that are trying to put on these accents, and it's not believable. Like everybody else in the cast, it's very like theater acting and very bad acting. And everyone's trying to fake an accent. And it's like Lance Henriksen is the only guy that you recognize in here, and he's out acting everybody, but it's still not good enough because it's that bad of a movie. He can't save this movie. He can't save this movie. And I'm trying not to burp because that's what bad films do to me. But, I mean, you know, what more can you say about this movie? I mean, I know that this director would go on to direct some, you know, really bad movies and rip-offs, and that's kind of, you know, that's what he's known for. I think he directed Transformers rip-off not too long after this movie. You know, so that's their, you know, MO as far as, you know, Asylum and this director. Yeah, I mean, again, this movie gets a 2.5 on IMDb, and yeah, it's just a really bad, dreadful, with boring characters, boring dialogue. And again, a great chunk of the film, nothing happens. It's just characters talking to each other. And then when they're on the ship, you know, when you get scenes where they're on the ship, the sounds of waves crashing and the ship creaking and, you know, all the stuff is much more louder than the dialogue. Like they really wanted to make sure that, okay, we're making this movie for $5, you know, let's try to turn up the sound of waves and, you know, the ship making noises, because the dialogue is real quiet. The dialogue is quiet. Or on the borderline of quiet. So yeah, I don't know what more to say about this movie. It's just a really bad, you know, I could say just as bad as Going Overboard. I mean, it gets a 2.5. I mean, I've said that before, so now I'm just repeating stuff. But, yeah, just a really bad piece of trash, piece of garbage movie. But thank you, Total Meltdown 2. Thank you. But I hope you enjoyed this little review rant. But Thank you for watching, and have a good day.